Hey guys, and welcome to a special bonus episode of Real Talk. You know, I'm in a great mood today. I had a lovely Thanksgiving. Star Wars is just around the corner, and I don't have to talk about the Fantastic Four movies anymore. Fantastic Week is over. And you know what? I'm so happy about that. I'm going to talk about a good movie. Today, we're going to talk about the cinematic masterpiece that is The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle. Oh, is that what you wanted me to talk about? Oh, but I already did 2 videos. Isn't that enough? Can I just... Yes. Okay, fine. But can I at least talk about, like, the other movies? The ones from the mid-2000s? You know, make a more balanced discussion of this franchise for this week. Okay, stop handing me clip. All right. Let's end this right by talking about so many wrongs. Let's dive right into... Did I hurt you in some way? Is it something I said? Are you mad at me? I ask because talking about this movie feels like a punishment. Guys, there's no diamond in the rough here. Fantastic Four's awfulness is so abundantly clear that there's really no point in talking about it. That's not to say it's like objectively bad or any silly phrase like that. It's just, from where I stand, the badness is as clear as the day is long. And today is a really, really long day. But I suppose if I'm going to say something like that, I'd better be able to back it up. So, yes, Fantastic Four 2015 sucks. But why does it suck? That's what I'm here to answer. Now, I'd like to clarify something before we get started. You see these things? These weird, like, books with the colors and the pictures on them? They don't matter. To me, this movie is not bad because it remixes the origin story, it's not bad because it doesn't touch on certain character relationships that are prominent in the comics, and it's certainly not bad because Johnny Storm is a man of color.
Yeah!
Woo! In short, in this house, the comics don't matter. I mean, they matter in general, obviously, like I'm not going to dispute that, but here, they're not part of the conversation, okay? Alright, with that disclaimer out of the way, let's tear this thing to shreds. So, a few weeks back, I said this about Fantastic Four 2015.
Tip, when writing a screenplay, make sure you care about your character. No, you know what? Actually, no. Make sure you care about your everything, because clearly they didn't.
As that handsome devil pointed out here, it really doesn't seem like the filmmakers cared much for the film from the outset. But I really want to touch on something I almost said. Care about your characters. In the film, the Fantastic Four are composed of 2 childhood friends and 2 siblings. Even at the outset, there's an element of family in there, and though I don't demand that the film push for the 4 to become a family by the time the credits roll, I was expecting something resembling an arc for the group. But we didn't get that. In fact, we got something much worse. Fantastic Four 2015 actively does not care about the Fantastic Four. Nothing about these 4 people coming together to form a group feels anything natural or logical. It just feels like it's supposed to be happening to fit an agenda. And even when you take away the lack of group development, none of these actors have any screen presence or chemistry. And I don't blame them. For the most part. I'm willing to bet this came from Josh Trank's terrible direction, which I explained in the previous video. I mean, do you know these guys? Kate Mara, the unexpected knockout from House of Cards, Michael B. Jordan, the breakout star of the amazing Fruitvale Station, Miles Teller, who... I mean... he was in Whiplash. And Jamie Bell, who... Look, he's getting there, okay? Still though, 2 out of 4 ain't bad, and yet the dialogue and general character interactions are so stiff and monotone that it never conveys any sort of connection between these actors. There's no emotion to it. So what happens when you're an actor, and your lines have no emotion or character, and you're basically being controlled like a damn puppet? Well, you give an emotionless, uncharacteristic performance that was out of your control. And it sucks. This is such a fundamental problem that seems to have been overlooked by everyone except the actors. If this was the only big problem, this movie would be bad enough, but unfortunately, we're only scratching the surface, folks. Next, let's talk about time jumps and narrative pacing. Usually, in a narrative, time jumps are used to get to the important character moments that need time to cool off after a monumentous event has occurred. Kind of like the epilogue in Deathly Hallows Part 2. These normally happen at either the very beginning or the very end of a plot, and even though that's kind of how it's always been, that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't put time jumps in the middle of stories. But Fantastic Four proves that, well, maybe it's best that you do stay away from the middle, at least when you want to tell a story that involves origins. In the middle of the movie, Right after we see the Fantastic Four get their powers, we jump ahead a full year to see them all using the powers they apparently mastered off camera. What? That is so out of place. All of the development, all of the character, all of the movie, just gone. This doesn't establish a more believable character psychology, it just cuts through the meat of the actual development. Okay, imagine if, at the end of this sentence, I cut to Hey guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. No! No, get these out of here. What happened? What about the rest of the video? Where'd all that go? This is what Fantastic Four does. It sacrifices character and progression for the sake of getting to what exactly? An underdeveloped villain in a shitty action scene? Yeah, nice. You know what? Let's talk about that action scene for a minute. If you've been keeping up with Fantastic Week, you know that Fox made a lot of business decisions with this particular film, including limiting the number of action scenes to one. So I'm not going to solely blame the creative team for this, but I do think that they could have still done right by this movie even with just one action scene. But no, of course not. Remember all that talk about, character progression and cutting through time and development and all that? Well, it comes to a climax here, and it pretty much highlights the biggest, most condemnable issue with this whole movie. Amongst all this action, all of these characters doing crazy things in this boring rock quarry that we're supposed to believe is like another dimension, the most important part about the implosion of suck that haunts Fantastic Four 2015 becomes crystal clear. Nothing matters. Nothing that is happening on screen has any weight, meaning, or substance behind it. I don't care about anything that's going on. This is where Fantastic Four 2015 sails far and away above the competition and becomes something much more than just a bad movie. Millions of dollars, hundreds of creative decisions, months of production, all leading into the very definition of a void filled with nothing. That is why Fantastic Four 2015 sucks. And that is also why it's the worst movie I've seen in years. And that also wraps up Fantastic Week. I hope you enjoyed this little journey into such a sad franchise. Now, I'd like to end this week with a little bit of optimism. I think we will see a great Fantastic Four movie someday. So help me out, guys. How do we solve Fantastic Four? How do we make the first great movie based on Marvel's first family? Let me know in the comments below, and please, be nice. Hey guys, and thanks for watching Fantastic Week. This was a lot of fun to put together, and it feels good to cathartically tear apart a movie that kind of deserves it, right? Make sure you click on these other videos to check out the other parts of Fantastic Week, and I'll see you next time. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving.